All right, this is Deanna Marie, and welcome back here to the Clusie. And today we are going to be talking about new level, new devils. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so a lot of times when you pray for something and God says yes, there's a wait for it because you might not be ready for what you asked for yet. And you have to go through like this purification testing process where, God's going to make you into what you need to be in order to receive what you asked for. So sometimes if you've asked for marriage, God is going to, remove a lot of different people from your life. And, you're going to have to learn how to be a good spouse. And, you're going to have to go through that process alone. And then, sometimes he'll bring certain people in there and there's like little tests that you have to pass. And then once you pass them, you're going to receive what you asked for. Money, sometimes if you're praying for, abundance in finances, God's got to make sure you can handle that. So, he's going to take away the money. He might give you a little bit of money. He wants to see what you're going to do. And there's a purification that you have to learn in order to manage an abundance of finances, as a follower. And then, career-wise, maybe you want to be promoted or you want something like that. God's got to take you through the different levels so that you understand the company. So maybe you don't get that promotion right away. Maybe you get demoted instead, and you're like, man, what's going on? And God's just trying to get you to learn every aspect of the company. He's got to make sure that you are going to follow him no matter what, right? Well, on the other side of that is when you receive what you get, it's going to be a whole different level of, temptations on the other side that you need to make sure that you're mentally prepared for, because the enemy is going to be after what you have. And, you need to make sure that you are maintaining what God told you to do. And so if you look at David does he goes through all of his purification testings to be king, and then he stops doing what he's supposed to be doing because he should have been at war, but he wasn't at war. He was hanging out on his patio, checking out girls, and he notices Bathsheba, and he ends up, committing adultery and murder and doing that. And he would have never done that had he still been listening to God, but he was not listening to God because that's what a lot of you guys don't understand. You think that it's going to be easier to listen to God when you have that $1 million, when in actuality, no, it's not. It's going to be a lot harder because you don't have to rely on him every day like you had to rely on him when you didn't have money. You don't have to rely on him every day to pray for that spouse when that spouse is standing right in front of you. And some of you guys, God's told you things that you need to do, that he's asked you to do, whether it's like social media platforms or, he wants you to talk to people, minister to people, do whatever he's asked you to do. He's asked you to do things. And, it's going to be really hard to maintain doing them when you've got the woman or the man of your dreams standing in front of you and you guys aren't worrying about money anymore. You don't have to get up and, do the films, or you don't have to get up and, do what he's asked you to do when you've got $10 million sitting in the bank and you guys can sit back and relax. And so you have to make sure that you are still going to be doing what he's asked you to do, because what he's given, he can take away. And even what he's given can end up destroying you in the end. Because I promise you, David never, if you would have told him, hey, in the very beginning when he was listening to God and he was doing everything that he was supposed to do, if God would have told him, hey, you're going to commit adultery with someone, you're going to kill her husband, try to lie and get away with it, and then in the end that child's going to end up dying because of the sins that you've committed. And if you would have told him that, he would have never believed it. He would have been like, no, there's no way. I talk to God. I do this all day, every day. And so some of you guys need to understand that, yes, the testing, it was difficult, but it's really really easy to not do what God's asking you to do when you don't feel like you need Him anymore. Because when you got all that money in the bank and you got millions of dollars, you're married, you're busy and stuff like that, sometimes God can get away with, like, you can get away from Him. So just be advised, okay? Because I'm just cautioning you, okay? So anyways, like, share, subscribe, and comment. I will see you guys next time.